Cloud9 looking to stay undefeated, and another match for them against Spacestation Gaming, who are still trying to find their way in the RLCS Chiefs.
Now, what do you think? Because James said maybe an early prediction. He said you might change.
Yeah, it was before I watched them play against Ghost. And, you know, you and I talked about it a little bit. I picked Spacestation because everybody else picked Cloud9, and I felt like Spacestation at least had a chance in this series.
No, I agree. Spacestation absolutely do. They have a pretty decent game differential despite being 1-3. They're 7-9. So they're keeping things fairly close. Obviously, last week versus NRG was not pretty. The drop to Ghost earlier was a rough one for sure, but you got your work cut out for you versus C9. Let's see how it plays out.
And the biggest thing for me is Spacestation likes to play this super aggressive play style. They do win a lot of challenges in the attacking third, and they start off well initially on the kickoff, but Cloud9 take it away again. Still, Spacestation, I'd like to see them utilize their ability to play aggressively against Cloud9. That one bouncing off the ramp, dangerous territory for Spacestation. They get away with one in the first 25 seconds. Sathu on the point, looking for AXB. AXB scores, open net for Spacestation. They strike first.
And they caught Cloud9 pushing so hard here, it was free range down on the other side. No excuse for Spacestation to miss that goal. And if you miss that one, well, you'd feel pretty bad about their chances.
Still a long game, a long series. Quickly Gimmick up for this, but it is played away by Sypical. Torment up for this on the backboard. He has a second touch. Does he have a third? He does! Torment triple tap into the net, tying it up real quick.
Well, you give away an easy one, and then you score a great one off the kickoff. Torment, command, precision, accuracy, and we're all tied up.
And that's exactly what you have to face against this Cloud9 team.
All three can do that.
Just to shoot back to last week and how they just shut down the opposition. Limited shots on net. You felt like there was no hole in that defense, and then Torment comes up on your backboard and does that to you. And you know that Gimmick and Squishy are capable of it as well, Chiefs, like you said. So a quick response, and Cloud9 find themselves back in the orange half. The miss initially gives the challenge to Gimmick. Torment around the corner. Gimmick just harassing the orange goal line. Pass over to Squishy, blocked by AXB around the corner. Gimmick tries to get in the way as well. Sathu, he's taken out of the play. Torment takes control. He's over AXB. Sypical has to get this touch out, and he does, but Squishy keeping midfield locked down. Sathu can't do anything about it. Sypical forced to clear this out again. AXB challenged by Squishy. Cloud9 have locked it to the third, and they score again. Gimmick taking the lead for Cloud9.
Suffocating pressure from Cloud9. They didn't let Spacestation Gaming out of their own half from the kickoff.
And Gimmick just puts it on target. Cloud9 didn't give up possession really once that entire time. Spacestation some struggles against Ghost. Weren't able to have solid shot opportunities. They took shots where really you felt like a shot wasn't there, and now they have to find a way out of their own end. They do find one here. Sathu puts a shot on, but Torment is there for the defense.
And it was that miss right now from Cloud9 that you were hoping maybe Spacestation would be able to pick up on it. Perhaps this demo is enough to get something going.
And that's probably the only one you're going to get against Cloud9.
It's possible. You believe it if you keep seeing that kind of pressure Cloud9 was putting up at the start of the game, as they might have a transition here back the other way. AXB already on defense, however. But Cloud9 looking to set up shop on the midfield line.
Typical, another boomer. Squishy met against AXB. AXB forces his way towards the box. Sathu gets there against Torment off the ceiling, still in front. Gimmick able to pull it out to the corner. AXB keeping it in play in Cloud9 territory. But Torment's got some space to work with. Sathu up quickly to make the challenge.
Oh dear.
Oh, into the
That's
tee
not
up.
good.
Squishy can't get there. Sypical puts it in, and it's a tie game for Spacestation.
And Cloud9 getting each other's way a little bit. Squishy and Gimmick. Actually, I think Gimmick just missed the touch because Squishy saw Gimmick coming. They definitely communicated, and Gimmick just didn't quite get the strong touch that he thought he was going to get. I thought they might have thrown each other off. Not the case. Just mis-executed, and Sypical delivered.
Sypical being that striker for Spacestation, able to put another one away.
And he's already had a big week before. And if he has a monster week, you can absolutely see Spacestation making it real tough, if not beating Cloud9, because he put up like 1,000 points on Fantasy in 1 week or something. He was a monster, as this is pinged off the bar a few times by Torment, and Cloud9 will be denied.
But still, you heard Gibbs talk about it earlier today with Spacestation around the corner. AXB able to pick that up and move down the field. That while Sypical has been probably the pillar of consistency on Spacestation, he still wants to see more of that out of Sathu and AXB if they have a chance at competing against these top 3 teams, because right now, out of the 5 teams that are trying to take a win from one of these 3 teams at the top, NRG, C9, and G2, well, no one's really been up to the task completely. Spacestation, you felt, might have been the best shot out of the 5 teams, but they haven't really found their way completely. Sparks of greatness out of this team, and they have a great defensive effort against Cloud9 to move down the pitch. That one straight down in front of the box.
Oh no!
Typical hits the post, and it goes out around the corner. An opportunity wasted for Spacestation.
You play great defense for 30, 45 seconds. You break out 2 touches, and you're right in front of the Cloud9 goal, and you punch it off the woodwork. Sathu trying to deliver another one. AXB wheels from the midfield line. He'll get over Gimmick's head, and they'll get the goal that they deserve.
After Sypical missed that first touch, the pressure did not stop. Sathu, he gets 1 win, and Squishy, he's forced in a tough position. He has to try to get that out to the corner. His positioning really makes it tough on him to try to do that. All he can do is touch it up into the air. Sathu already was on top of it, and scoring it for his team. AXB, his 2nd goal of the game. And they take the lead in game 1 achieves with not a lot of time left.
Cloud9 going to have to really press now. Just able to get there is Squishy, but the follow-up is lacking. Gimmick was pushing forward, and it gets bombed over his head. And he can only send it away to space. Squishy Muffin's waiting around the middle. Gimmick's got him beat, but he misses the net. He punched it high, and Sypical, a great 2-tap clear. And Spacestation will relieve a massive amount of pressure.
Solid clearing in game 1 from Spacestation. Early on, after that Torment triple tap, it looked like they might have been in danger, but they've held on defensively. But hang on! It's off the crossbar! It bounces out! The shot from Torment is no good! Not over Gimmick. Long pass over to Torment. He's got to keep this up in the air. Pips it down,
wow.
And Squishy can't get there. Spacestation come away with game 1.
What a roller coaster of a ride that was for Spacestation. How do you spend 80% of the game? Probably not 80, but it felt like 80% of the game on defense and win 3-2.
Only 4 saves out of the 11 shots that Cloud9 put on target. They didn't let the ball in the net, and they had solid clears coming up. They caught Cloud9 up too far.
Times.
Yeah, more than a couple of times. Spacestation's first goal was an open net.
Yeah. Because actually I remember that now that you say that. They pushed all 3 forward, and it was just, a Sunday stroll into the middle of the box. So I guess that actually is the biggest difference maker. It could have been overtime and a totally different story, but Cloud9, I mean, Torment put in a banger of a goal, Gimmick firing a good shot as well, and unfortunately, right at the end when they needed that equalizer, 2 great goal-scoring opportunities and pinged off the crossbar. So Cloud9 suffering from a little bit of Spacestation syndrome.
And much more measured on offense from Spacestation when they were able to put pressure on Cloud9. Going back to the goal that tied the game for them, Sypical kind of banging it off the post, but they were able to keep pressure up after that, and that's the key, sustained pressure to crack this Cloud9 defense, because they're so good at being able to either bring the ball down and make you miss, or just get a booming clear. They're good at everything in this game, so if you can find a way to win those challenges in the midfield and attacking third, Spacestation can continue to roll here.
Well, they got a good win game number 1. But I absolutely feel like Cloud9 still hold the edge here in game number 2, just from raw offensive pressure that they generated in game number 1. But Cloud9, a little bit of a shock to the system here, and we'll see how they respond in game 2.
And up for it, Sypical booms it downfield. Gimmick able to get back to his own touch. Squishy up for this. AXB has him beat. Squishy still getting a touch onto the ball. Sypical winning another challenge. AXB looking for the bump. He's got him. Sathu racing in. Can't get there in time. Squishy has the block. Spacestation. Sypical wins 1 in midfield. He gets under Torment. And it's going to be no play for Spacestation as they reset back in midfield.
And he pulled Torment off that ball, actually. He made Torment think he was going to continue going higher, and he won that challenge. But Torment gets his redemption kicks it all the way down to the Space Station half, and maybe Cloud9 will get things going. Squishy won't actually be able to steal that away. A beautiful follow-up effort from Sathu after that initial touch, and Space Station immediately break out. That's what you need to see out of Space Station. Can't allow Cloud9 to continue to put on all that pressure that was on you in game one.
It's solid midfield presence right now from Space Station as well. AXB, light touch back to Sipical. Sipical's shot blocked by Gimmick. Torment gets that touch out, and Cloud9 able to break out back to Space Station territory. Gimmick off the ceiling. Just punts it against the backboard. Sathu catching that one out. He has to race back, make another touch off the backboard. And now Cloud9 slowly swinging things their way in midfield, and they're going to go for another one. Gimmick and Squishy both going for that touch, and a whiff by Sipical causes the whiff from Torment, and Space Station get a little bit of breathing room. Sathu looking for Sipical. Space Station finally get out of their own half.
It's a complete departure from how game one played out as well. Cloud9 unable to generate the same amount of pressure. We're almost halfway into this one, and you have one shot on the board for Cloud9, two for Space Station, so nobody able to gain an edge.
But Cloud9 not pushing up as aggressively as they were in game number one, what killed them. And it's definitely led to less offense from Space Station, even though they've had some pressure, and Cloud9, even though they've had some pressure as well. Limiting shot opportunities are both squads. Space Station can't get it going against Cloud9's back wall. Gimmick on the point for Cloud9, wins one challenge. Trying to get in the way of AXB, but again, it's cleared back to midfield.
But AXB, he was just caught pushing forward. He had to slow down and make sure he got a handle on that ball, and it's allowed Cloud9 to push forward. Gimmick is going to be a little bit too slow. Sathu will clip it out to the side. Push forward by Sipical. AXB follow-up. Back wall bounce. Can't reach it. Help from Sathu into the right side, and Space Station on the board first.
So caught back in net. AXB gets a booming touch there right off the backboard. Squishy, he's still trying to get turned around and get a play onto the ball. He had 18 boost in the tank. That ball was way too high for him to try to make a play on. The best thing he could have done was get himself turned around to at least get a look at the ball. Too fast, couldn't do it, and Space Station take advantage. And so, in the second half of game two, Space Station have the lead again. And this is a team that you felt like, again, moments of greatness with Space Station achieves. You're like, all right, this is a team that maybe can contend with some more experience. Maybe they can contend with this top three. And they couldn't do it against G2. Then they couldn't do it. They got smacked against NRG. But now they're putting pressure on against the world champions in Cloud9. They have the lead in game two, and they're threatening to go up 2-0 right now against Cloud9, even with this one-goal lead. Here's the shot, just blocked off the post. Sathu just rolling around. He got the boost. Sipical's got control. Torment able to catch it out. Sathu just gets a touch on it, gives AXB the ball. Cloud9 struggling to get out of their own half. Gimmick finally catches it out and gets away.
And not done yet. Gimmick will go the length of the pitch and turn it into the left-hand side. And actually, you said AXB had the ball. It wasn't really his ball. He was a little bit too far forward. Yeah, he had a chance, but he had too much speed. The ball was heading the opposite direction. He's a little bit too far out in front of it, and he ended up handing it right back to Cloud9. And Gimmick executed.
And it goes back to that super aggressive playstyle for Space Station. It was Sathu who made that initial challenge to give AXB a chance at the ball. Just a little too fast, AXB a little too close, and it will kill Space Station on the transition. Cloud9 tie it up. You know you can't keep him off the board for long. Gimmick. Around the corner, Torment. Can only kick that one up high. Sathu plays it slow back to AXB. Finds himself. Squishy can't get the ball. Breakaway maybe for Sipical, but a great challenge from Gimmick.
It's a massive challenge from Gimmick. If he lost that ball, it was goodbye for Space Station, and they were going to just cruise on into the net again like they did to start off game number one. But a weak challenge might allow Cloud9 to get something going, but only a touch to space for Gimmick.
Still only 2 shots on net for Cloud9. One touch out, goes back to the corner. Squishy ends up bumping into Gimmick. Torment wants to race into that. Space Station have some trouble getting out of their own end. Everybody ran into each other. Space Station, they lose another goal, and Cloud9 take the lead.
No hesitation from Gimmick. Saw that tip from Sipical, didn't even wait to figure out if Sathu was going to beat him or not. He said, let's just go get it. And he beat everybody on Space Station. No thought, pure aggression from Gimmick, and he might have just stolen game two.
AXB Can't find it off the kickoff. That shot blocked by Sypical. AXP looking for Sathu, blocked by Squishy. Gimmick controlling in the corner. Cloud9 as time expires. Do they get back into this series and tie it up? Well, Sypical down the field. A great challenge by Squishy. Sathu with the catch. Flicks it up, and it's
oh, he did it!
AXP takes credit. Space Station tie the game.
Oh, we're sitting here all day long. Sathu, he's got great ground control and no time to show it off better than 0 seconds down by 1, and he gets around the last man, and they'll go to OT. What a play.
Wow. Keep the ball in the air. Great things can happen. Squishy back over to Gimmick. 2 players on Space Station thrown back away from each other, but AXP able to buy some time. What a way to fight back for Space Station, especially after getting that lead late, giving it up, and then giving up the lead quickly after AXP back to Sypical. Is knocked out to the side by Gimmick.
Sypical expecting a better challenge from Cloud9, was not set up, and a fake from Gimmick allows Torment to have an opportunity. Squishy is waiting so patiently. Can he convert? AXP, master job following the ball and getting right behind the middle of it, but he's not done yet. Sypical in a 1-on-3. Torment pass to the back wall, and he clipped the ball. You are right. What a block from Sypical.
An incredible read and keeping Space Station in it. Sypical kicked up from Torment. Quickly up with Sathu, but Squishy's got him beat. AXP waiting in midfield. Pot shot towards the net, blocked by Gimmick. Sypical quickly up in the third. Space Station looking to keep the pressure up. Flying in is Sathu. He's by 1. Back to his own touch. He does get there. AXP. Nothing, and Gimmick clears it away for Cloud9. Rolling back, Gimmick.
Oh, huge bump.
And Sathu picks that one up as well. But Squishy controlling out, looking for a pass, but it's only to AXP. AXP can't flip it over.
Another
Gimmick.
one.
He's got a breakaway opportunity off the backboard, and it's Sypical again getting the rebound, keeping Space Station in it. Another one maybe for Gimmick. AXP's there. Gimmick tries to get back, pass out to Torment. Torment plays it slow, can't make Sathu miss, but Squishy comes in to score for Cloud9, and game 2 goes the way that we have the series all tied up.
And Torment, just a wonderful fake to just pull out so many members of Space Station, and the last man trapped in the corner trying to race back. Couldn't do it. So it takes some mind games from Cloud9, but they will eke out the victory in game number 2, and it did not come at a low cost. It took a lot of investment. Gimmick making monster challenges out of the midfield, winning a lot of great transition opportunities away from Space Station.
And for Sypical, he had a lot of acrobatics in net at the end there.
He tried.
He really
tried.
did. And they had a couple of opportunities to feel like, oh man, Space Station are about to score on the transition here, but Cloud9 just a great job of managing the backboard, managing the corners, and finding those monster clears. So now, if you're Space Station, there's a lot to still, hold your head up high. It's tied series. You started with a game buffer after game 1. You're able to fight back at 0 seconds to tie the game and make it a very competitive overtime.
You made him sweat.
if you're looking just in the vacuum of this series alone, you're probably wondering who's actually going to win this series.
I don't know, actually. After that hero effort from Sathu at 0 seconds, AXB converting it, and a tight overtime, some monster defense from Sypical, great challenges from Gimmick. Game number 3 is up in the air for me. I think, obviously, whoever wins game 3 probably wins the series. There's just too much pressure and too much quality play from both of these teams right now for me to believe that if you drop game 3, you're going to be able to win 2 straight. They're both playing just too well.
Absolutely. For both teams, I mean, there were instances where they'd finally try to slow things down. It's like, okay, Cloud9's playing aggressive. Let's just try to slowly get this out of our half. No, Cloud9 is going to press on that. And the same thing for Space Station. Cloud9 tries to slow things down in their own corner, and Space Station, it's like, no, we're going to force you to beat us to the ball. Game number 3, the all-important pivot series, or pivot game, if you will, comes away with series advantage. We are underway. First chance is Sathu, just wide of the post. AXB, another challenge. Sathu back to it as well. Sypical actually finds a line share of the touch. Squishy just trying to keep it away. Gimmick. They'll move it back downfield for Cloud9.
And Gimmick was aiming for a dangerous spot in that corner with that touch because he saw Sypical go for a boost, but they'll bump Cloud9 out of the net on the transition back the other way. Sypical makes a tough play in his own corner, gets a banger of a clear, and then Space Station turn around on the midfield line, open the door, and then slam it shut.
We've seen a couple of bumps like that come from multiple players on Space Station just to try to generate an opportunity, and they score first again. Space Station have scored first in all 3 games so far against Cloud9. Squishy off the ceiling, looking, and Gimmick just trying to cause chaos on the orange line. Sypical back over to Sathu. Does he have a break here? No, he can't find the read off the ramp. And Squishy has another clear back to Torment.
And that's one where experience from Space Station works against them. Sypical makes another big save. But they had Cloud9 beat again on transition. They had an open net for a moment, and they just couldn't fit it in between the goalposts.
Torment back over to Gimmick. Gimmick another challenge win, almost puts the shot in himself. AXB able to clean it up. Sypical a little too far off in midfield. Gimmick here.
Wanted that fake. Well done from Sathu, making sure not to bite too hard and go too high.
Now he moves down the pitch. Squishy back to his own touch. AXB quick on the challenge. And again, that's that super aggressive playstyle from Space Station that has just worked out for them against Cloud9. It's generated some opportunities. AXB finds Sathu back in midfield. We have some real estate. Space Station. Sypical comes back to the touch. And Sathu another challenge, and he gets the boost in midfield. Gimmick though, tough to get the ball away from him. Sypical able to pick up the save. AXB keeping it moving down the blue half. Sypical another touch. Sathu already up for this, has to contend with Gimmick, and Gimmick wins. Back around the corner, Cloud9 able to keep the scoreline 1-0.
And Gimmick pulled Torment out of a real bad spot because Torment was in his own net, facing backwards. It was going to be a heroic effort to save that ball. And Gimmick just so fast coming off the midfield line, kicking that ball into the corner to get all that away, and Squishy Muffins can't turn it in. It sits on the goal line, pops out, and Space Station clear the ball.
He moved that ball 3 different directions by himself in midair just to try to force his way through 3 defenders. Couldn't do it. Demo on the backside onto Sathu to open up the net, but it's cleared away. And Cloud9 trying to keep the pressure up. They've limited Space Station to 1 shot on net, but it's the one that has mattered. From the 7 from Cloud9, they still have not found the back of the net. Gimmick may find it here. Quickly up is Sathu to make the save.
And still pressure continues to mount. Gimmick actually just stole away that corner boost as well, so maybe a partially starved Space Station Gaming is what they need to get the job done, but even that won't be enough. But a missed follow-through will let Cloud9 back on the offense.
Up on the challenge is AXB, just trying to contend with Squishy onto it. Catching it out is Sypical. Gimmick to Torment. Torment off the crossbar, cannot get back to it. Looking to just keep control for long enough. Squishy got in time. Gimmick has to make a touch in midfield, and he does, but Sathu on the point, just wide of the net, gets it straight back to AXB. AXB off the back wall. Sathu kicking it back, looking. He only found a Cloud9 car. Sypical able to kick it down. A net is open for Sathu. Sathu shoots. He scores 2-0 for Space Station.
And they just get a handle on this on the rotation back. Sypical narrowly avoiding a demo. And Cloud9, too much faith in the play coming through. They can't rotate back fast enough. To be fair, very tight window for Sathu to score through, but just enough for once. Space Station Gaming don't ping it off the bar, and it doesn't matter. The lead comes right back to where it just was off the kickoff.
Exactly what Cloud9 needed here. Gimmick winning great off the kickoff, and Torment on the cheat up just gets, you know, the best touch he could have gotten there off the crossbar as it went down and in. For Space Station, you're certainly glad that you were able to score a second goal, but plenty of time for Cloud9 to tie this one up. Quickly off, Sathu has a shot blocked by Gimmick. Sathu, quick pass at AXB. Gimmick to Squishy. Breakaway maybe for Cloud9. Squishy in the corner, and Sypical able to get back in time. Sathu dumped down straight to Gimmick, who's removed from the play by AXB. And AXB flying up for this, wins it big time off the backboard. Having the play is Gimmick again on the rebound. Squishy breaking out here. Sypical again back. has the touch out to the side. Sypical, the third man on defense, has answered the call every single time for his team, keeping them in the lead. 20 seconds left, killing as much time off the clock as possible. Sathu, pass over to Sypical. He's got his man off the post. Sathu's shot. Squishy gets there. AXB finishes. And Space Station Gaming look to go up 2-1 in the series with 10 seconds left.
They'll lock it down. Squishy couldn't get a handle on the ball off the back wall, was ready to make a save and couldn't get it off the backboard. And so Space Station will put the pressure on Cloud9, barring one heck of a miracle with 10 seconds left. And again, no shortage of defensive effort from Space Station Gaming. 9 saves in Game 3.
Ball, as soon as it touches the ground, it will be it. And Space Station Gaming, after really, it was a stinker against Ghost, achieves. It was below expectation from what we saw from this squad so far this season, but they have absolutely answered the bell against Cloud9 right now. And now Cloud9 are the team in position to have to force Game 5 against them.
And this goes back to something I said a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, after the NRG Splice game. Splice kind of fell apart that entire series, and I said you have to be on your game when you're playing the best teams in the world. And Space Station Gaming, that shot from Sathu right there, that's on your game. That's the only place in that net that ball gets in. They put the ball on transition on Cloud9. Even still, Cloud9 are almost in the right spot.
And just great goaltending. Like you said, 9 saves, 4 from Sathu, 3 from Sypical, 2 from AXB. Everyone on this team stepped up on every area of the pitch. Cloud9, no shortage of offense. They're passing insane. Squishy tried to generate opportunities on his own. Cloud9, they're a team known for making solo flash plays. Yep. They're able to do that because that's how good they are. They're also able to put together nutty team plays, but Space Station,
sniffed it all out so far.
They've thwarted everything they've thrown at them.
So far, so it's game number 4.
Whew.
And you know what I said, you win game 3 with how well everyone's playing.
Just
Space
like
Station
everyone
has a good chance. So if you win, Jorby, if you are the sole person who picks Space Station Gaming to beat Cloud9,
someone had to give him a chance, man. Someone had to give him a chance.
You will look like the world's smartest analyst on this desk.
It's just not true. But game number 4 underway. Space Station Gaming looking to pull the upset that no one this season has been able to do thus far. Sypical has an open.
Oh,
yes,
he bumped him.
And it's 1-0. 13 seconds in. Space Station, don't stop coming.
4 games straight. Space Station on the board first. And goodbye, Squishy Muffins. Hello, 1-0 lead.
Wow. Just wow for Space Station. That's how you bounce back after earlier today. 3 undefeated teams in the RLCS. We've called them the Big 3 for 2 seasons now. Space Station may be the first to finally take a series win against one of them. Torment, back over to Gimmick. It's a long 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And Cloud9 are absolutely the team to be able to weather the storm. But AXB, back in midfield, has 1 challenge out. Sathu quickly onto the ball, forces his way against Gimmick. Cloud9 are really having a lot of trouble getting a consistent possession in the orange half. In the first minute or so here, every challenge has been met. And it's been Space Station usually coming out on top on those challenges more times than not. This one goes the way of Gimmick. Forces AXB up, and even when Cloud9 do win here off the backboard, Gimmick, he's met against Sathu. Squishy tries to force his way through, but AXB gets there again. The net is closed for business for Cloud9 against Space Station.
There's the difference. Torment was willing to respect it that time on the midfield line. It's been those challenge games. Like you said, I agree. Space Station have been under a lot of pressure more often than not on those difficult challenges. They've come out on top, and Cloud9 have overcommitted and allowed dangerous counterattacks. That time around, Torment was like, you know what? Let's let it happen. If we win, we win. But he couldn't take that risk and allow a 2-0 lead to happen now.
Hit up again. And this is just, it's must win, you feel, for Space Station, especially with the way Ghost
with their series scores, absolutely must win for Space Station, and it'd be a huge one.
Knowing the stakes for Space Station, winning this in 4 means all that much more. Sypical finds Sathu. They're having trouble breaking out of midfield right now. Cloud9 trying to find the clamp that they had earlier. Quick pass out to Gimmick. Gimmick wins, but Sathu waiting on the back wall for that touch. Torment getting chipped on his way up to the ball. And probably not the touch he wanted. Quick pass, Gimmick, just a little too much juice. He can't get there in time. We're halfway through game 4. Cloud9 still pressing, still hunting, yet coming away empty every single time. 0 shots on net halfway through.
How did Gimmick read that ball so perfectly? And actually, AXB just threw Sypical for a big loop. Here comes Cloud9. AXB almost own goals it, and Squishy Muffins tips his cap, takes it to the bank.
Ends up a touch being their own worst enemy. AXB, he tries to turn onto this ball, wants to play it opposite side of the half. Instead, it goes straight against his back wall, and Squishy's ready for it. And Cloud9, you know, they needed that.
They needed
just
that.
Just needed to score something.
Big blunder from Spacestation Gaming.
Tee up against the backboard, but AXB's got it covered. AXB again, in for the corner. Cloud9 continue to press. Squishy, a demo on the back wall. Sathu buys time. Gimmick, his touch right to AXB. Sypical, quick pass out, back to midfield. Sathu already there waiting, back to Cloud9's corner. Sypical wanted to jump for that one, did not have Cloud9 beat. AXB slow on that one, able to play it out to the corner, forcing Torment to take the long route around. He still gets a bump, gets a touch out back to Squishy, but they can't find a shot on net.
Well, they were never really going to have an opportunity on net just because of the spacing of Cloud9. They're so far back, but Torment actually, now he's going to try and force the issue because he knew Gimmick ran back already. And so maybe Spacestation might be able to sneak something through here, but I really do feel everything's going to tighten up from both teams. I wouldn't be surprised to see overtime here.
Ooh, trying to challenge that ball was AXB. Sathu able to catch it, at least by a second for Sypical to get back to this touch, and he wins it cleanly. Sypical, no one from Spacestation going to be ready for this. Sathu does get back to at least get a touch on the ball, but Cloud9, here's Torment. Sypical already up for it, another clear out to Cloud9's corner. Gimmick trying again. He's won a lot of challenges. AXB shot blocked by Squishy, but following up is Sypical off the post. AXB finishes, and a late lead for Space Station. They might do it.
Well, I thought overtime. I apparently thought wrong. Squishy just in the net was trying to get out in front of that one and couldn't tip it to safety right to the middle of the box into the waiting arms of Space Station Gaming. And the first one you thought, oh no, here it comes again, and AXB fixed it.
Sypical off the back wall. Sathu trying to get there. You feel like if Space Station scores another, that's going to be it. Sypical off the ramp. AXB back to Sathu. Sathu shot on target, blocked by Torment, and back over to Squishy. Gimmick on the turnaround. Can Cloud9 tie this up as the clock wanes to 0? 15 seconds remaining. Torment, nothing. AXB booms it again. High off the backboard. Nothing. Sypical clears it out again. Torment can't do it. Back over. Sathu actually misses. Big for Squishy. The shot blocked by AXB. Space Station kills it, and they upset Cloud9 in 4 games, taking the first series victory against the Big Three.